Have you ever felt that really strong inner pull? Not just a passing idea, but something deep down telling you which way to go?
Oh, definitely. It's almost like an instinct. Our sources talk about wild geese.
The geese. How so?
Well, they just know where to go. They answer this ancient call the sources mention. It's not intellectual. It's just built in. They're heading home.
Okay, I
Yeah.
think I get that. So, let's dive in. We're looking today at something the sources call down-to-earth Dharma.
Right.
And the core question seems to be, how do we stop just thinking about these big spiritual ideas, Buddhist teachings in this case, and actually, live them, make them real?
Exactly. It's moving from head knowledge to, well, life knowledge. And the first thing to realize is that it's a journey.
A journey, okay.
Yeah, and like those geese hitting bad weather, our wild human life isn't always smooth sailing. The idea is to meet all of it, the good, the bad, the messy, with kind of grace and courage, to be open to what's actually here.
Okay, so let's back up a little. For anyone maybe less familiar, what exactly is Dharma here, and how does our mind usually try to tackle it?
So Dharma, basically it means the teachings of the Buddha. Think foundational stuff like the Four Noble Truths or the Brahma Viharas we'll get into, or understanding the three poisons.
Right, the poisons. Aversion, greed, and delusion. They seem like helpful things to understand, definitely. But how do they become a trap? Is that where the conceptual mind comes in?
That's exactly it. The conceptual mind loves goals. It sees meditation or any practice as basically working toward enlightenment sometime in the future.
It makes the teaching into this distant finish line.
Yeah. And the danger there, the sources point out, is that you get so fixated on this future ideal.
You miss what's happening right now.
Precisely. You miss the actual moments of learning and transformation along the path. Those are the only moments you actually have. It's like wanting the corner office so badly you hate
Oh.
the job you actually do every day.
So the alternative isn't ditching the idea of growth, but changing how we approach it. More receptive, less grasping.
Right, resting in a kind of openness, maybe even love for the process itself. You still hold the aspiration, the direction, but you learn to appreciate the steps, the view right now.
And that openness, that allows us to experience life more directly, without needing to label or control it all the time.
Yes, it lets us touch the mystery of it all right here, unconfined by our neat little concepts, receiving life instead of trying to, manage it constantly.
And the result of that kind of receptivity, the sources say it leads to intimacy on two levels.
Yeah, first, intimacy with our own experience. You stop fighting yourself, basically,
Mhm.
and you find out you're larger than you thought, more capable than you knew.
And wiser and more loving than we believed possible. I like that. It's like making friends with yourself.
It really is. And that self-connection, naturally, it flows outward.
Into intimacy with the world. Which brings us to that Thomas Berry quote.
Oh, yeah, the philosopher. He says, we're most ourselves when we are most intimate with the rivers and mountains.
With the air we breathe, the earth that supports us. It shifts everything, doesn't it? From being this isolated self trying to achieve something to being part of this vast, interconnected generosity.
It completely reframes it. You're not struggling alone. You're in relationship with everything.
But, okay, it sounds great, but it's not easy. The sources warn about a big pitfall. Spiritual idealism.
This one's tricky. It's this subtle expectation that practice will turn you into some kind of perfect, saintly figure. Always calm, always loving, full of light.
Like a spiritual superhero.
Kind of. And because that ideal is impossible, what happens?
You start rejecting the parts of yourself that don't fit. The anger, the fear, the confusion, the human stuff.
Exactly. You deem it unspiritual.
Yeah.
And that leads directly to what the sources call spiritual bypassing.
Okay, explain that term a bit more.
It's basically using spiritual ideas or practices to avoid dealing with difficult emotions or unresolved issues. Trying to be conceptually above it all while denying the messy reality of life's ups and downs.
Like saying it's all good when you're actually really hurting or angry about something.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Or, avoiding conflict by saying you're just holding a higher vibration. It becomes a way to sidestep the actual work.
That makes so much sense. So the key reminder, the correction, is what was it? We forget the purpose of practice is to be with what is true.
Not to attain an imaginary ideal. That's the heart of it. Accept the messiness. The goal isn't perfection. It's truthfulness. It's presence.
So instead of chasing that impossible ideal, we focus on, well, real practical qualities, observable changes.
Yes. And that brings us to those four Brahma Viharas. These are like tangible markers of progress.
Loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. Let's start with loving kindness. The sources offer a really simple way to measure this one.
Almost deceptively simple. Just ask yourself, am I kinder?
That's it.
That's the metric. Is your practice making you kinder to yourself first and then to others? If not, something's off. You might be stuck in that conceptual, idealistic trap.
It grounds it immediately. And the story of Deepa Ma illustrates this so powerfully.
Oh yeah, her story is incredible. She came to practice after just devastating loss, her husband, 2 children. She was consumed by grief.
She wasn't seeking some lofty enlightenment initially, just survival.
Basically, yes, sanity. And she found it through practice, eventually becoming this deeply respected teacher right out of her tiny apartment.
And when someone asked her, after all those years of intense meditation, what was actually in her mind, expecting something profound, probably.
Her answer was just concentration, loving kindness, and peace.
And the student was like, that's all.
That's all, she said.
Yeah.
It's just, wow. It shows the shift from chasing complexity to embodying these fundamental, powerful qualities right here.
Okay, moving to the next one. Sympathetic joy. The sources link this closely with gratitude, right? Calling it the heart's release of gladness.
Yes. And they frame gratitude as this vital antidote to our usual way of thinking.
Which is often very individualistic, competitive, me first.
Right. We're taught to acquire, to achieve, to stand out. But gratitude and sympathetic joy soften that because they help us see how much we're constantly receiving.
Receiving, like what?
Like everything. The air we breathe, the food we eat, sunlight, beauty, kindness from others, things we didn't necessarily earn. The world is incredibly generous, Gratitude is recognizing that interdependence. It deepens that intimacy we talked about.
Okay, that leaves the final Brahma Vihara, equanimity. This seems to involve facing 2 big truths, impermanence and letting go.
Huge ones. Impermanence is just the way things are. Everything changes constantly. The sources use the image of walking on the deck of a ship at sea.
Always shifting, never totally stable.
Exactly. And our conditioned reaction is to fight it. We try to cling to pleasant things, push away unpleasant things.
Which just creates more struggle, more restlessness.
Constantly. Because we're grasping at things that, by their very nature, won't stay the same. And that's where letting go comes in.
The sources say letting go ends our argument with reality.
Reality always wins. Such a powerful line. We waste so much energy wishing things were different, instead dealing with them as they actually are.
So letting go helps us find balance amidst the, what was the word? Vicissitudes.
Yeah, the vicissitudes of life. Pain and pleasure, gain and loss, praise and blame, fame and disrepute, the inevitable pairs of opposites.
So if I get praised at work, equanimity means I appreciate it, but I don't desperately cling to that feeling.
Right. Or if you get criticized unfairly, you feel the sting, but you don't get completely swept away by reactivity and defensiveness.
It creates space, freedom from getting tangled up in it all.
Precisely. You can live in the middle of it all without being constantly yanked around. It reminds me of that sign one source mentioned at a meditation center.
Oh yeah, what did it say?
Simply, this is the way things are right now. Acceptance, presence.
Okay, so that brings us back to the core practice that helps cultivate all this, meditation. How do these sources define meditation if the goal isn't some far-off enlightenment?
They define it really practically as a technique to help us directly experience our lives right now, as a way to understand the nature of reality, the way things are.
It's the tool for feeling that truth. This is the way things are right now, not just thinking it.
Exactly. And it requires a shift in stance. We usually operate from this like mind-activated, assertive stance, trying to control, define, possess.
Always doing fixing, managing.
Right. Meditation invites the opposite. Receptivity, stillness, silence.
Listening.
Receiving the world instead of demanding things from it.
It's like stepping back from that small, tight ego self.
Yes, relaxing out of that contraction. The sources describe it as relaxing into ever-deepening intimacy with the mystery of life.
Not trying to solve the mystery, but just be intimate with it.
Be part of it. Relaxing into being life itself rather than trying to be separate from it or in charge of it.
Wow. Okay, so that really brings it all together. This deep dive suggests the real path, this down-to-earth Dharma, isn't about achieving some perfect future state.
Not at all.
It's about weaving these practices, the kindness, the gratitude, the equanimity, the presence, right into the messy fabric of our actual lives today.
The journey is the destination in a very real way. The path is the home.
And that leaves us with one final thought, drawn from the sources. It touches on that sense of spaciousness you can find in meditation.
Right. They say that space, that awareness, it belongs to no one and to nothing, and to everyone and everything.
Which is quite a paradox. So here's something for you, the listener, to consider as you go about your day. What does it really mean to sense a reality, a core part of existence that can never, ever be owned or pinned down?
And if you really let that sink in, even a little bit, how might that change how you relate to your goals, your struggles, your possessions, all the things we try so hard to grasp onto in this constantly changing world?
Something to ponder as you meet the vicissitudes of your own day.